Open world games come in all shapes and sizes, some realistic, and some made so we can explore a corrupted / destroyed version of our own planet. There are some games where you explore the deep depths of space. There are even some games where you play as a small blonde man who likes to destroy beasts. Now there are a lot of things that make good open world games, so in this video I want to go over just some of the small things in very brief detail that make a great open world game. This video will cover in very brief detail some of the most important things that make a good open world game. But before I continue with this video, I need to let you guys know that 95% of you are not subscribed, so make sure to like, comment and subscribe to this video and this channel right now. Your support really does help me. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll see you all at the end of the video. By the way, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a bit racky. I've been a bit ill recently, but nonetheless you're getting this video, so thank you all for watching and I'll see you all next time. In my opinion, there is probably nothing more important to an open world game than the atmosphere. And yes, I know I have a whole video dedicated to atmosphere and you've probably already all seen it. Wait. Oh, no, you haven't seen it, because that video flopped. But I digress. I will only dedicate a few minutes to this topic, as I know I've already had a video on it. In a nutshell, atmosphere is basically everything that convinces you that you are in / part of the world. The atmosphere is everything from the background music to everything such as the beautiful grass or the trees. Atmosphere is also all the little details in a game's world, like what the people do and what animals do, where they walk, what their routine is. Atmosphere is everything in an open world, because it's the thing that convinces you that you're in an open world to start with. I can't tell you this enough, but atmosphere really does mean everything in an open world game, and it truly is the thing that keeps the player immersed in the world, that keeps the player immersed in the things that are happening around them. Now let's talk about the world, but what do I mean by the world? Well, I'm talking about the environment, and there really is no other way to put this other than the world. The world and the environment is everything. Everything from where mountains and rivers and waterfalls are placed, and even where a castle or a settlement is placed in the world. In other words, a game has to have a world that feels realistic in its setting. The world has to convince you that it's in the right setting to begin with. Take Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 4. These two games do this incredibly well. Red Dead Redemption 2 has a very brutal but realistic western setting, so it's very important to get mountain, terrain and villages in the correct areas to make the setting feel real. Now, Rockstar Games are incredibly talented, and they're incredibly talented at making a realistic, convincing and overall brilliant setting. Now, why is Rockstar so good at building a realistic setting or a good setting? Well, it's because they take real life locations and base their games around these locations. Look at GTA 4, which was based off New York, or look at GTA 5, which was of course based off of LA. Red Dead Redemption 2 is based off of states such as Louisiana. This is of course wonderful because it means Rockstar can send real employees down to these states to look at history guides, history tours, and overall look at the state's feel and vibe, so they can base the game off of the states and get a realistic view on how these states would be back in their cowboy days. Red Dead Redemption 2 has trees, rivers, mountains, terrains exactly where you would expect them to be in a western setting, as well as villages and bog-like cities exactly where you would expect and think to see them. The city of Saint Denis is a perfect example of how you can make a setting perfect and fit into the world you want it to be in. The city screams an old western feel to it, with a bog around it, with alligators all around, and overall it makes the setting and the world incredible. Now, the second game to be great at the world would be Fallout 4, made by Bethesda. Now, Bethesda have always had a special talent for making a good environment / open world. Now, similarly to Rockstar Games, Bethesda have always based their Fallout series games on real states / real cities. Bethesda have always done this with Fallout because their logic has always been, if the place that a Fallout game is set in is a location that the audience can recognise, well, at least almost recognise,
Come on!
then the game will sell far better, and for the most part this logic has worked out pretty well for Bethesda. Also, I don't think Bethesda are wrong with this strategy. You could probably imagine what a great US city would look like once a bomb had been dropped in it. Or maybe you don't need to, because maybe you're just thinking of one of the Fallout games. Fallout 4, especially in my opinion, is very good at conveying a sense of what America would look like once the bomb dropped, because Fallout 4 is set in the Commonwealth / Boston. And I must say, Fallout 4 does an incredible job from the very start at conveying this sense that America has had the nuclear bomb dropped on them, and in fact the very town you start in, Sanctuary, before the nukes are dropped on them, literally looks like Nuketown from fucking Black Ops, and afterwards looks like about what I can build in Minecraft without any help from creative mode. What I'm trying to say is that Fallout 4 perfectly shows you the before and after, what America would look like before and after a nuclear apocalypse, and it does this incredibly well, keeping the setting and keeping the world brilliantly. The main city of Boston is incredible and is on point to show the players that this is a nuclear setting and this is what the world looks like after shit goes down, and it keeps the setting perfect. It's incredibly important to have a convincing world because the player needs to feel like they're a part of that world and that they fit into the setting of that world. You can have a quote-unquote great map, but if it doesn't show and convince the player that they are part of the world that you were trying to convey, then what's the point? And that's two things that Red Dead Redemption 2 and Fallout 4 do so incredibly well. In a video game, there needs to be, well, things to do, things to look at, and things to interact with. You can't really just have a pretty open world with a main story and then nothing else. There has to be more interaction, there has to be more things to do, side content as you would call it. But when making a game side content, you have to get it just right. You want a decent amount so the player can keep interacting and entertained by the game, but you also don't want too much so it feels like a chores list more than anything. So let me talk about two open world games that are great when it comes to side content. One game being Watch Dogs 1, which is for more players who want more out of side content, and one Halo Infinite, which is for your more casual open world players. And as you can probably tell, these two games are incredibly different, but not when it comes to good side content. Watch Dogs 1 is made by the king of side content themselves, Ubisoft Games. You know, the people who stick radio towers and outposts in nearly every single one of their games. And trust me, in a lot of cases, that is not a good thing at all. In fact, in a lot of Ubisoft games, it feels like you're more going through a tick sheet than actually doing side content because you want to. But this is not the case for Watch Dogs 1. Now, don't get me wrong, Watch Dogs 1 has a lot of side content, and I mean a lot. But look at it like this, the radio towers, CTOS stations in Watch Dogs are very few compared to other Ubisoft games. In fact, there's only really 13 compared to Ubisoft's average 20.
Name a game you're proud to have. 100% completed.
Hey Ubisoft, why don't you name a game you have completed at 100% before releasing it?
And plus, in Watch Dogs 1, you kind of do all of them throughout the story if you want to hack in a certain area of the city, so it gets a pass here. As per usual in Ubisoft games, you have enemy outposts that you can clear out, so if you like stealth or loud missions with groups of enemies that you have to clear an area of, these are your missions, so you'll like these. There are fixer contracts where you have to deliver a car in a certain amount of time or evade police. And then you have the more chilled out side activities such as the party activities, like where you play a drinking game involving button combinations and things like that. That may sound like a lot, and trust me, it is, especially when you look at the map. The thing that makes these activities okay is because they all take around 10 to 15 minutes to do. There's no long quests, there's no fetch quests, there's nothing like that. There's no long side content. It's quick and snappy and enjoyable, and all feel different but similar in their own ways, which makes the player want to do more of them. Other than when you get hacked, that just kind of sucks ass, but other than that, the side content's great. I think a veteran of the open world game sphere would absolutely love this game, because it's got simple side content and it's got more complex side content, and it all isn't very long, so people would absolutely love it. Also, I gotta say, it actually fits into the environment and setting of Watch Dogs 1, whereas in other Ubisoft games, a lot of the side content you're sort of sat there scratching your head saying, why am I doing this? Okay, but what if you only play open world games casually? You just want a little bit of extra side content, but not a lot. Well, that's why I'm going to briefly talk about Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite is the 6th Halo game in the series, and it's the first one to properly dive into the open world sphere of gaming, other than a spin-off Halo game. Halo Infinite's side content has mini boss fights / bounty targets you can take. Halo Infinite has mini missions for you to do, and it even has propaganda towers for you to take down, all on your own if you want to. Also, there are marine saving missions. The side content in Halo Infinite is incredible, and I was left asking for more. And that's a great point, actually. A great open world game should leave you just wanting a little bit more, and Halo Infinite does this perfectly. Now I want to talk about the effect a good open world game has on the player. Games that make the player feel something truly special. But how do games achieve this? How does a good game make the player walk away feeling something more than just, yes, I like this game, but something truly more, something truly great? And this is incredibly hard to achieve, especially for me. There is only a handful of games that are open world that have left me leaving feeling something more. No Ubisoft game has done it, I can tell you that much. But what open world games have left me feeling something more? Have left me feeling something incredible? Well, two things pop to light, one being Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and the other being the game that is Skyrim. So let me tell you why this is and how it works. To truly leave the player feeling something more, you have to fully convince them that the world they were just in was real. Both Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 always leave me feeling incredible emotions and amazed. And the same can definitely be said for Skyrim. And the reason why these two games, well, technically three, have such a great effect on me is because they truly make me and a lot of other people believe that the world I was just in was real, and that is something incredible and incredibly rare. In conclusion, I think what makes a great open world game is one that has great atmosphere and tells you that you're in an open world game to start with. A game that has a great feel to the world. A game that has incredible world interactions, and a game that leaves an emotional effect on the player. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I apologise that it's taken a while to get out, and I apologise on the lack of uploads this month. I'm switching up my content to long form videos. I'm going to be focusing heavily more on reviews now. I want to take this time to thank all of you who have watched this video, all of you who have watched my other videos, and all of you who watch my short form or essay form content. However, this content will slow down and I will now be posting every 2 weeks. However, this might not be the case for next month as I need to work on script for my more long form videos. So thank you guys ever so much for watching this video. If you like the video, please do like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think is the best open world game you have ever played. Thank you guys ever so much for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated in the future. You guys are the best, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video.